Welcome to Out of Bounds, presented by Isaac's Roofing and Sheet Metal.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm Dan Reefer along with Alex Walker. Maria's off this evening. Kentucky finally breaks through at Tennessee. The Cats' first win on Rocky Top since 2015.
Hi, I'm Alec. And after back-to-back losses by LSU, UK enters this week in a three-way tie for first in the conference with the Bayou Bengals and Auburn. Kentucky led in this game for 38 minutes, but the Volunteers would just not go away. The Cats were able to put the game away at the free throw line down the stretch, going 10 for 10 at the charity stripe over the game's final 3.5 minutes.
UK also shot the ball well from the field, 54.3%, the best field goal percentage for a UK team, or for UK in a conference game so far this season. UK also 5 of 10 from 3. UT went 7 of 26 from deep. And the Cats held the Vols to 34.5% shooting. It is the 4th straight game. UK's held the opponent under 40% from the field.
Emmanuel quickly led the Wildcats with 18 points, and 4 other Wildcats scored in double figures. Nick Richards had 15 to go along with 7 rebounds. Tyrese Maxey also scored 15. Ashton Hagans had 10. But it was a breakout game for Johnny Juzang. The Cali kid, perfect from the floor, 3 for 3 from 3. 4 for 4 from the field, and 2 for 2 at the free throw line for a career-high 13 points. And Keon Brooks was really big as well, a team-high 9 rebounds.
And now UK has completed a stretch of 4 Saturdays on the road in tough environments at Arkansas, Texas Tech, Auburn, and Tennessee. The Cats come away with wins in 3 of those 4. So let's hear now from John Calipari. The post-game comments brought to you by the Bob Allen Motor Mall.
We've had 3, 4 like ridiculous environments like this in a row, 4 weekends in a row. Is that right? Where were they?
Arkansas, Texas Tech, Auburn.
And I'm still alive.
Evidence there, yes.
Yep.
Now, before the Cats tipped off against Tennessee, the projected top 16 seeds for the NCAA tourney were unveiled.
And Kentucky was not among them. The 1 seeds were Baylor, Kansas, Gonzaga, and San Diego State in that order. The 2 seeds, Duke, Dayton, Louisville, and West Virginia.
So Louisville beat Duke head-to-head, but Duke is still 2 spots ahead of the Cards? Okay. Well, the 3 seeds from highest to lowest, Maryland, Florida State, Seton Hall, and Villanova.
In the top 4 seed is Auburn, followed by Oregon, Butler, and Michigan State. So, how does John Calipari feel about being left out of the top 16?
John, you touched on this yesterday about the NCAA announcing the 16 seeds.
We were a 2 seed?
You were not one of the
weren't?
16. So
Wow,
what do you think of that?
surprises me. Were we an 8 seed?
Not on the board. I mean,
We are in the tournament yet? We're not in the tournament? We probably won't talk about it. I didn't expect anything. I thought we could have been a 1 seed, but that's just me.
Well, I don't necessarily think Kentucky has a big beef to not be among the top 16. Other projections out there have UK as a 5 seed right now, but I think Kentucky could definitely play its way into a 4 seed.
Yeah, me too. And that 1 loss to Evansville is just killing the Wildcats in those net rankings and the KenPom ratings. UK is currently 21 in the net and 30 in KenPom, but these computer rankings are a little bit wacky this year.
Yeah, the net has UK 21, but Texas Tech is 1 spot ahead at 20. And then you look at KenPom. Purdue is 14 and 10 this season. That's their record. Number 13 in KenPom.
Doesn't make any
There are
sense.
several others like that that just make no sense. It's going to be a wild selection Sunday this year.
Yeah, wild indeed. And here is a little NCAA tourney nugget on UK for you. Under Calipari, the Cats have advanced to the Final Four in every single season that they've beaten Tennessee and Knoxville. Might be a good omen come March.
No doubt about it. Coming up on Out of Bounds, much more on UK's win at Tennessee. We're going to hear from Coach Cal on why he's not happy with the way Tyrese Maxey played and why Ashton Hagans has developed a turnover problem recently. That's next. Welcome back to Out of Bounds. We are now going to dive much deeper into Kentucky's win over Tennessee, the good and the bad from several Wildcats, and what John Calipari had to say about some of his guys. And we get it started with the top plays presented by Kentucky Greenleaf. Johnny Juzang was perfect against the Vols, hitting all 4 of his shots, including a trio of triples and a pair of free throws. He scored 13 points. That's a career high for him. If they can get this from him, look out.
Yeah, look out indeed. How many times have we seen this season when either Tyrese Maxey or Emmanuel Quickley or Ashton Hagans has gotten into foul trouble? You think about how valuable Juzang playing this way is going to be come tournament time.
When Johnny Juzang shoots, you think it's going in. And like I said earlier, when we first got in here, he's the first one in the gym. Probably going to be in the gym tomorrow morning, maybe in the gym tonight. I'm knowing Johnny, but, I mean, I'm just proud of him. He stuck with it. He could have let go of the rope early in the year when he wasn't making shots, but stuck with it, kept playing defense, kept fighting, and today he came up big for us.
My teammates were looking for me, and, you know, shots were falling, so nothing really got me going. I try to bring energy every game, but, yeah, my teammates were finding me and shots were falling, so.
On the rebound on the free throw, I said, pull it out, and he made it. Great shot, Johnny. And on that play you're talking about, I'm like, easy, easy, easy. Ah, great pass, Johnny. Way to play, kid. So.
Well, another guy who came up big against Tennessee, Keon Brooks, grabbing a career-high 9 rebounds. He only scored 4 points, but his offense wasn't what Kentucky needed Saturday. They needed those 9 rebounds.
Yeah, he's a physical dude. Brooks seems to be embracing his role now, and just like what Juzang means in the backcourt, Brooks means in that front court. You look at this Tennessee game and what UK got from E.J. Montgomery and Nate Sestina, those two combining for 2 points and 4 rebounds. When that happens, you have to have Brooks step up, and he did.
Hey, and how about Emmanuel Quickley? He just continues to get it done. He only had 3 points at halftime. Comes out second half, scores 15, including the dagger 3 with $1:30 to go that put the Cats up 10.
Yeah, he's clutch and has been so consistent. He's scored in double figures in 12 straight games. The first Wildcat to do that since P.J. Washington last year. He's now in the NBA. Quickley is averaging nearly 18 points over the last 12 games.
And his free throw shooting. You think about the games he's had when the 3 isn't falling or that floater of his is off target. What does he do? He gets himself to the free throw line.
He's a killer. He's a killer for sure. What he's done this year, big plays, clutch plays, he's different. He's different.
I know he got in foul trouble early, and for him to come in second half and still be aggressive, not timid, and he knocks down big shots. I mean, he's going to make big plays, just like Johnny Juzang. He's another one that stays in the gym every single night. He's probably mad at himself. I think he missed a free throw today. I think he'll probably be in the gym as soon as we get off the plane shooting free throws. And I mean, that's just a testimony to his work. And like I said, I'm proud of him, and we're going to need him to keep balling.
Keep on balling, Johnny. Now to Nick Richards. And last Saturday was tough for Nick against Auburn, but he bounced back against Mississippi State on Tuesday against maybe the front runner for SEC Player of the Year, Reggie Perry. Richards outplayed Perry in that game, and then he showed up big again against Tennessee on Saturday.
Yeah, Richards goes 5 of 5 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds. And just how confident is he playing right now? Coach Cal tells us.
Nick asked me for the ball. Think about that. Coach, would you throw me the ball in the post? So we ran some stuff to throw him the ball, and the kid came through. Made shots, made free throws, made baskets.
Yeah, he's having one heck of a stretch. Now, Tyrese Maxey scored 11 of his 15 points in the first half against Tennessee to help the Cats take a 7-point lead into the locker room. He also grabbed 5 rebounds, had 4 assists, and a couple of steals. A pretty nice stat line.
Yeah, but it's what doesn't show up in the box score that kept Calipari from heaping praise on the freshman in his post-game comments. Coach Cal tells us what he has to have for these Cats to have the type of season they want to have.
You know, for us to get where we're trying to go to get better, we got to have EJ, Nate, Keon, and Johnny Juzang. They got to step, but so does Tyrese. And it's nothing to do with skill and basketball ability. Your effort and energy has got to be where everybody else's are. And if it's not, you can't be in. You just can't be in. I mean, my point to him, it was 1-on-4, and you went crazy. You got it blocked, and then you jogged back on defense and jogged on defense. Where's your energy? You had it going that way against 4 guys. Where's the energy coming back? And that's all part of growth. That's all part of maturity. And what we'll do is hold him accountable, and I know how good Tyrese is. We're not going to be better without him on the court. But if Johnny does what he does, we got a nice little rotation.
Now, as for Ashton Hagans, he definitely did some things to help his team yesterday, but he continues to struggle with his decision-making. He's been committing more turnovers the last few games, taking some ill-advised shots, but he still leads the SEC in assists and is tied for second in steals.
The good news is that even though he didn't play well against Tennessee, the Cats were still able to win. He had 3 assists to 5 turnovers, but he went 6 of 6 at the free throw line, grabbed 4 rebounds, including an important one late.
Sometimes he's trying to make a harder play than he needs to make. The play that he walked, Nate was flying. All he had to do was look and throw a bounce pass to Nate, and he shot a layup. Instead, he went like this and wanted to lay one off to him, and they called walk. You didn't need to do that. Just make the easiest play. He's so physical. He defends so well. He rebounds. Now we just got to get this decision-making where he's just not turning it over, and we need him in the game.
Lastly, E.J. Montgomery. You look and see he had only 2 points and 3 rebounds and played just 15 minutes. But his defense was valuable when he was in there. He had a couple steals and 3 block shots.
Coming off that great performance he had against Mississippi State Tuesday, both offensively and defensively, I'm sure he and Calipari were hoping that would carry over against Tennessee. But when Keon Brooks came in and played the way he did, well, he took Montgomery's minutes. All right, coming up on Out of Bounds, the UK women get star Rhyne Howard back today.
Finally.
Would it be enough on the road against Arkansas? And what a wild day it was in the Southeastern Conference. We'll get you caught up on the SEC next. The UK women's basketball team got its star, Rhyne Howard, back for today's game against Arkansas. Howard had been out with a fracture in her finger and was originally thought to not be able to return until maybe next Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but she was out there today. There she is, as the 15th-ranked Cats faced number 25 Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena. And Howard was a little rusty, going 7 of 21 from the field, including 1 of 10 from 3, but she still winds up with 20 points. Now, as for Chastity Patterson, this is our little personal highlight reel here. A career-high 32 points for the Cats, including 21 in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
But it wasn't enough against the Hogs, which were red hot from outside. 14 of 21 from 3. They shot better from 3 than 2. That was just too much to overcome for the Cats. 103. 85 was the final as Kentucky drops to 7-4 in conference play.
All right, back to the men's game, and it was a wild day in the SEC. 3 games went into overtime.
Yeah, it was wild. The madness actually started earlier in the week, though, when Vanderbilt ended its 28-game conference losing streak by beating the only team that didn't lose a conference game so far, LSU. Go figure, right? The Tigers had a league record of 24-2 over the same stretch. That Vandy went 0-26.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, LSU was at Auburn Saturday and built a 15-point lead, but Bruce Pearl's bunch came roaring back. Javon McCormick gave Auburn the win on a last-second shot in overtime, 91-90. That result creates a 3-way tie for first atop the SEC with Auburn, LSU, and your Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, it was an important win for Auburn. Arkansas, by the way, lost one of its top players, Isaiah Joe, this week. He is out indefinitely after having knee surgery. Missouri has been one of the worst teams in the league this season, but yesterday the Tigers took down the Hogs in Columbia 83-79 in overtime thanks to 24 points from Xavier Pinson. So Mizzou is now 3-7, Arkansas dropping to 4-6.
And Georgia just can't hold a lead.
Yikes.
The Bulldogs lost their 3rd straight game in which they've led by double digits. This time, Alabama came back on the Dogs behind 37 points from Kyra Lewis Jr. to win in overtime 105-102. UGA is now 2-8 in the SEC. Bama's at 5-5.
And what's up with Florida? I don't get it. They continue to be a conundrum. The Gators go to Ole Miss and get blown out by the Rebels 68-51. It just makes no sense with all the talent they have on that roster. Ole Miss now 3-7 in league play, and the Gators dropping to 6-4.
Florida and South Carolina now have the exact same records, both 14-9 overall and 6-4 in the conference after the Gamecocks put it on Texas A&M Saturday, 74-54. South Carolina, well, they might just play their way into the NCAA tournament if they keep it up this way.
And they got to win a lot of games, though, down the stretch for that to happen.
They do. Also, Vanderbilt went to Mississippi State. They lost.
They were leading at halftime by 5,
were.
and then Mississippi State took them to the woodshed down the stretch.
Yeah. All right, head on Out of Bounds. we check up on our boy Brad Calipari at Detroit. Plus, a record is broken, a game winner, and the return of Robert Montgomery Knight, baby! Next in Twitter Fire. Hey, welcome back to Out of Bounds. Every week we scour social media to see what we can find for you. Things you maybe missed. It's time for Twitter Fire, and it's brought to you by C2G Environmental. Here's this tweet from Detroit Mercy's men's basketball account announcing that there's been a change in the starting lineup. Recognize any names on there, do ya? Oh, yeah, it's Brad Calipari. Detroit was at NKU last night. Coach Cal tweeted out a picture of he and Ellen at the game. Brad knocked down a couple threes for his folks. He finished with 8 points and was 2 of 6 from 3 in the 84-65 loss. Detroit Mercy's not very good.
They're not, but good for Brad, though. That's awesome. Let's get back to Friday now in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where Henry Clay alum and UK freshman Langston Jackson broke the school record in the 200-meter dash with a time of 20.58. That is blazing fast. We're going to be watching this young man in the Olympics very soon. He is so talented.
Yeah. Now to another UK athlete, Autumn Humes, with the walk-off grand slam to beat NC State Saturday in Clearwater, Florida. Humes also pitched a complete game, so she got the win in the circle and delivers the win with her bat. By the way, the 15th-ranked Cats shut out number 7 Minnesota today to go to 4-0 after the opening weekend of the season.
Yeah, 4-0 for the first time in 6 years.
Wow.
And we end with former Indiana coach Bob Knight returning to Assembly Hall for the first time since the school fired him 20 years ago. And it brought us this interaction between the general and Dick Vitale. It looks funny, but I think Knight was actually pretty perturbed by that.
Knowing how much of a jerk Bob Knight is, I think that's him being like, don't cut me on the back of my head, Dick Vitale. I don't care how much you love me. And I mean, Dick Vitale couldn't be a bigger supporter. He may be the biggest Bob Knight supporter, and that's how he treats him. That's because Bob Knight is a Class A jerk, and he will be until the day he dies.
And I tell you what, though, I never thought I'd see the day he was back at Assembly Hall. Whether you like him or hate him, it was still a neat scene to see all those players see their guy back in the court.
Yeah. All right, coming up next on Out of Bounds, it's our Coach's Corner featuring a shot at Tennessee from John Calipari. You'll want to hear this. As always, we end the show with something funny we heard from a coach, and this week we welcome back our friend John Calipari. Here is our Coach's Corner, brought to you by West Shore Home.
How do we do from the three-point line today? 3 for 7. Is this a halftime score? Somebody gave me a halftime. That's pretty good. Anybody want to know what happened at halftime? Oh, it's on the back. Oh, so they're really cheap here at Tennessee.
Tennessee fans were outraged over that comment. It's just a little lighthearted joke, but it's from John Calipari.
If you watch his mannerisms, and you've seen him over the years, you know when he's joking, you know when he's being serious. He was joking and taking a lighthearted jab, but an important win for Kentucky, obviously, as they fight that seed line in the NCAA tournament. They got Vandy on Tuesday at their place. Vandy's not very good, but over the years, some weird, wacky things have happened in that gym. So Kentucky's going to have to be focused. Exactly.
Just happened, just this past week with LSU. By the way, a 7 o'clock tip-off. Thank you for not a 9 o'clock tip-off in Nashville. And then, instead of going to Arkansas or going to Auburn or going to Tennessee, Ole Miss comes to town. Ole Miss and Vanderbilt have a combined 4 Southeastern Conference wins heading into this week.
It's a chance to pad some wins before they face a couple of stout opponents down the stretch.
Including LSU and Baton Rouge.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching.